Hey, hello.
The carpet is yours.
Thank you. Gotcha. Mill Valley Film Festival 45. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We have Anna Diop with us. Yes. And she's talking about her film, Nanny. Many of you know her as Starfire, but we're talking about Nanny. First of all, how are you?
I'm excellent. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Tell us about your character in the film. Because I've seen the film, and you do some amazing things in the film that I've seen.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I play a woman named Aisha. She's a Senegalese immigrant. She moves to New York from Senegal. She's undocumented, and she's trying to find work so she can save up money to bring her son to the States. And she gets a job for an affluent white family as their nanny.
How was developing chemistry with Rose Decker? The scenes you two are in, it's like, wow, they really have that chemistry going on. How did you develop that with her?
Yeah, Nikyatu organized time for Rose and I to, and her real name is Rose, and she's named Rose in the film. She organized time for us to hang out before we started filming. So I took her to the zoo, and we went to get lunch, and just bonded, because I wanted her to feel comfortable around me. Nikyatu wanted her to feel comfortable around me so that it would, show up on screen, and that did happen, thankfully. Yeah.
Yeah. And being the film, it's small spaces, but then as you mentioned, an immigrant story. How is that translating the acting, especially your leading guy when you're with him? How did you guys get that going on there? Malik.
Yes, Malik, who's played by Sinqua Walls, who is arguably one of the most charming, handsome human beings to ever walk the planet. He made everything so easy because he's so charismatic, and he comes onto the screen and he brings so much light and so much joy to Aisha's circumstances and to Aisha's experiences, which are quite lonely and haunting. And it's a beautiful story within this story of resilience and yeah, he brings a lot of joy to Aisha's life, and he brought a lot of joy to me on set too.
Last question. Working with Leslie Uggams, what was that? Because she is an icon.
She is an
I mean, I had TV shows and everything. How was working with her?
It was a dream. She is exactly that. She's an icon. She's a titan. She's one of the actors that have paved so many roads and has done some incredible things in her career. And she's as regal and intelligent and still and profound as you would imagine. I got the chance to be able to speak to her and speak with her between takes, and when we had downtime, I was always trying to sneak away to go, chat with her, and she's so kind about that and so open, told us the most amazing stories about, her time in this industry and just her life. She's an icon. She's an incredible woman.
Fantastic. She's a titan, and so are you.
Yes, Leslie Uggams. Amen. Yes, we're both titans.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mill Valley Film Festival 45. We have the director for the film, Nanny. She's going to talk to us a little bit about it, putting it together, and getting it premiered here. So how are you?
I'm a little fatigued. My manager's there looking at me as I answer this question. I'm eager to get some sleep, but I'm really humbled and affirmed by being accepted into a festival like this,
Rose Decker. How did you work to get the chemistry between Anna and her? It was so real across the screen.
You know what, Rose was, so I'm going to be honest, I had to convince our financiers to cast Rose. I was convinced, but when you're an independent filmmaker, you have some higher ups to convince about your casting. Everything is not your choice. But Rose was so stoic in her auditions, and she was so smart. She was 5 at the time, so she spent a big chunk of her life in the pandemic. And then once we locked her in, I had her and Anna do exercises, like go to the park, each other questions. I got to know Rose on a personal level. The key with children is to incorporate their truths into the script and into the world. So she brought her toys that made her feel safe onto set, and we incorporated elements like that. That was really important for her as a child actor.
And shooting the film, what was your time frame for shooting this film?
You know, what is time? I mean, we shot for like 28 days in New York City. And to shoot at the peak of the pandemic and have a lot of time sucked by testing, we tested every other day. We had a lot of like really stringent COVID protocol on set that took a lot of time away from the actual production. So even in those 28 days, a lot of time is spent just making sure everyone is healthy. And so we're shooting in a different time, and so we're actively pivoting into the change that is happening before our eyes in this industry. And it's stressful. Like, it's already stressful to make a thing, but to make a thing with COVID looming over you is another variable that makes it a little more challenging.
Last questions, the earrings. Is there symbology with the earrings? Since this is, they say, a horror film.
I can't remember the name of the artist who created these, but I always like to have elements of nature. I'm very tapped into the universe, and I'm interested in the ways that climate disasters, evicting humans from the earth for our behavior. So I'm always thinking about ways to keep the things that ground me, like nature, close to me as I'm navigating a really stressful industry.
No wrap up, but thank you so much for thank you.
Oh my God, I need
Thank
to know
you.
who made